Hey guys, thanks for joining me. If you're a first-time visitor to my videos, thank you very much for taking the time. If you're a returning viewer, I do appreciate your support. For those of you who may not be aware, this video series is a learning resource for beginning photographers looking to understand what gear they should use, how to shoot good basic pictures, and just the way forward in beginning as a photographer. If you're a returning subscriber, you probably clicked in from this link. If you're a first-time viewer, I'd encourage you to go check it out. It's in the description box below. It's a video about my first camera and why I chose it. But for now, I'm really excited to share with you my review of the 50mm and why it's a really good lens and why you should buy one. So a 50mm and why it's a good lens. The 50mm is what's called a prime lens. That means that you zoom with your feet. So if you want to go nearer to the object you're photographing, you must walk towards it. If you want to zoom out, you must move behind from the object you're shooting. There's an advantage to this in that the lens itself has less glass, which means your pictures are sharp. Many times people on Facebook or Instagram or wherever ask me why my pictures are so crisp and clear. It's because whenever possible, I shoot with a prime lens. I've used this lens for everything from weddings to events to fashion shoots. It's a really diverse lens. The other reason why I'd really recommend this lens as one you should almost instantly have in your kit is because on a full frame camera, I'll explain that in another video. On a full frame camera, the 50mm shows you exactly what your eyes see. So I'll demonstrate that using the camera that's shooting me right now. Right now, this video is being shot with a 28 to 75mm lens. This is what it looks like shot on a 50. As you can see, the lens is a lot closer, meaning the other wide lens was more zoomed out. There's a lot less space on my sides. I don't even know if you can see my hands right now. And you might be able to see that it's a lot more sharp and crisp. So these lenses, again, just when they're constructed, there's much less glass inside of the lens, which makes the images more clear. You can test this out by getting 2 or 3 panes of glass and trying to look through them. And then if you just look through one pane of glass, whatever image you're seeing on the other side will be a lot more clear. Another thing I really like about the 50mm lens is that it's a 1.8 lens. And what that means as a photographer is that you can shoot in low light. So I quickly discovered when beginning photography that majority of the places you're going to shoot in are really dark. Buildings just don't seem to have very good lights. And the nice thing about 1.8, that's referring to your aperture, and that's a circle that lets light into your lens. So at 1.8, it's a really wide circle. On your kit lens, the lowest your aperture could go is probably f3.5. So for almost the same price as your kit lens, you get so much more light in, which allows you to shoot in low light. And that's what makes this lens known as the Nifty 50. On Amazon, this lens costs about $22,000. Again, link in the description box below for those of you who may want to buy it. It also allows you to do manual and autofocus, which is helpful. If you're shooting small objects like a bug, or if you're shooting a wedding and you want to get a close-up of the ring, it's easier to use manual focus, so that's a really nice addition to it. For Nikon, when you're mounting it on your camera, the white dot on the lens is aligned to the white dot on your camera to mount the lens. One thing I want to make clear for you is, and this really confused me when I was starting out, a 50mm shows you exactly what your eyes see on a full frame camera. But most of you, if you're buying like the D7000 or a crop frame camera, actually need to use a 35. On a crop sensor camera, the 35mm behaves like a 50mm on a full frame camera. I know it's a bit confusing, but again, video in the description box below to help you understand the difference between a full frame and a crop sensor camera. So I hope you guys found that basic introduction helpful. For more information, I actually have a blog post link in the description box, so you can visit the blog to see better before and after pictures of what we've discussed today on the video. For everything mentioned in this video, there's a link in the description box below so that you guys can find out where I get my gear from. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscribed viewer, you can click on the subscription button below or on this link to subscribe to my channel for videos every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. I would really love to hear from you on what you want to hear more about, what you thought of the video, and you can catch me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, on my website www.tandiwemoreo.com, or in the comment section below. Until next time, see you guys.